Today is April 20, 2018. Well, I do believe my Scientology story has reached its end. I did previously another recording that I'm going to be posting after this one, so it is immediately after. I don't usually edit any of these recordings. I paste them together if I did 2 takes on it, and then I just post them. I think things are much better. I feel that I used my burden, which was my experience with fair game, to work on my negativity. Use any opposition, as the Spirit usually does, to work on ourselves, because strife and opposition and struggle does make us stronger spiritually, and that is what I did. So without using content of the cult, I did my own research, and I read a whole bunch of amazing books. And I turned my very negative experience into something wonderful. I believe I've grown spiritually, and I hope to continue my path. But it's not only the spirit that I care about, but understanding, to a certain extent, the mind, and producing, creating, living with myself as best as I can. I went to the doctor, and I was found to have vision problems. The reason why I had all the auras and the flurries, and that's my dog, and little bursts of light here and there, was because of my eyes having this problem. One of them actually, not both of them. And I wear glasses all the time because any kind of light affects me, including this one. The dark glasses allow me not to see the flurries and the auras, which are really annoying. But the doctor assured me that they're annoying, but they're not dangerous, which was a relief. What has helped me a lot through fair game was, as I said, creating with the effect. Not really concerned, not really that obsessed in figuring out exactly how they were hurting me and how I was going to strike back, but creating with how they affected me, logging it in, what had happened, when, and how it affected me. And creating with that affecting was good because I was able to create with my unconsciousness, meaning I went to give certain form to that creative unconscious that one has, and I was able to have a journey there. So it wasn't then having a Scientology journey, I was having my own spiritual journey, because since I was not reading their content, their doctrine, it was validating my own. And that is the most important. I think that I did everything I could to get away from them, to not talk about them, not to be an instrument. Ooh, that's my stomach, I'm sorry. To not be their target. I never gave them reason to. But when I realized there was no way out but to be public, well, I went public with these crazy videos, and I'm not proud of them. I'm not proud of them because they're sloppy. They mix a lot of creativity with real facts, with journalizing, interiorization. They're not to the point. Obviously, I was concerned about being sued, so what I did is I could only talk and create with what I went through. And what I advise other people, if they're going through it and if it's difficult, because if you're programmed, it's difficult, is first to try deprogram. So seek therapy, and any means to express oneself creatively is also very good. Sculpture, writing, drawing, anything. Drinking hot water melts any resistance, any opposition. Being healthy is absolutely essential, because remember, they target the spiritual essence, the unseen. So they are processing the unconsciousness, which makes it very hard, and people that are targeted by Scientology will have reactions that nobody will understand, because they know us so well, they have so much information on us, and they will trigger those things. The unconsciousness content. They don't care about the conscious one already. So creating will make that unconscious content become conscious, so that we, or I at least, I worked through my own issues by making them conscious as I was creating. Another thing that I find that really helped is the gym, the sauna. Wheatgrass, juicing, and reading books, spiritual books, some of them, and some of them not spiritual books. So reading hard content, ideologies that are not manipulative, that are naturally able to remove one from any indoctrination. These are the religious books of all sorts. I would actually put a whole variety in them, because they are important. The Bible and other religions all are very good to remove one from programming and unindoctrinate one. And that worked for me a lot. Staying positive. A lot of negativity has to come out, and that is important. One can use anything that is happening that is negative to take the opportunity to move that negativity out, turn it into energy, mentalize it, throw it out, get rid of it. And so this is what fair game does. This is what Scientology does. So work through that negativity. Once that negativity is completely gone, they can't affect anymore. Okay, make sure your environment is good, that everything's working well, that there is nothing in the environment that is going to become a stressor. Because when fair game affects us, it affects us most at home, in our own environment, because that is where they put all the hypnotic noise. And then once that ceases to affect, it won't even happen again. So there is hope. Okay? Ron Hubbard designed a program that he knew wouldn't work, but it was simply a program to destroy your program. It was one in works with the other, canceling the other, and they would cancel each other eventually, and one would feel freedom. And that is why his story in the end of what Scientology is about makes everybody feel humiliated, because they've gone through so many years and so much money spent. In reality, Mr. Ron Hubbard or any religion whatsoever cannot be taken by the word. They are just using religion as a mythology, or as an excuse to install a mythology that is meant to mean something transcendental, something else, not the real fact. What I did with noise is noise still affects me, because I have tinnitus and my hearing has always been very sensitive, but the noise now becomes vibration, which is really, really wonderful. And the vibration resonates not only from the mouth, but from the entire body. It's almost like an energy that goes from the feet up. And I do a lot of voice exercises. I just did one today, and it feels amazing. The vibration, when I was able to turn all the uncomfortable noise that I didn't like, because I don't like noise and I've never liked it, into a vibration, it's almost like I could feel the whole body very alive, in tune with the frequency, but it's a frequency of space, of the cosmos, and it feels very good. But it only happened to me when all that horrible negativity made its way out completely, and I was able to replace it with love and respect and understanding towards everybody. And as I said, Scientology uses another process, which is shadowing. They will shadow. What it will do actually is shadow the victim. And many diseases can come from that. Oh, my stomach. I just had soup. Lots of soup. So my stomach is, I guess, happy. So, what I did with the shadowing, because they shadow all of our issues, because they have so much of our information, and when they do that, just understand that even going through or choosing to have a spiritual life, the shadowing will naturally occur. So at some point, when a person ceases to be connected to earth and be fully in spiritual form or in spiritual mind, spiritual consciousness, that that shadowing and light, shadow light, it begins to happen. We start thinking in parallels, and those parallels lead us to constantly see things in grades of tones and grades of shades. And so, again, as I said on video 5, try to ascend. Every time there is discomfort at one level, know that there's more dimensions. You don't have to go to war. You don't have to go sue. Hopefully, you don't have to just move up. Always move up in the discomfort. Every struggle, every opportunity that we have to react, at least negatively, is an opportunity to spiritually ascend. When we ascend, we have a completely different view of the entire situation. The whole alchemy of elements is the most interesting of the spiritual life. It is, for me, the most fascinating. And I hope to understand it better. I still don't, but I hope one day to understand it better. The exteriorizations of the body, they're not so incredible. I find them very uncomfortable, actually. For the very few and brief ones that I've done, I find them extremely uncomfortable. But elements, and seeing the world through elements, is the most exciting part of a spiritual ascension, and a creative one. Because Mr. Ron Hubbard turned everything into a mechanical, so he understood the elements, but what he did is he took the elements and turned them into a program, like a computer program. Now, perhaps he's correct, I don't know. I have a very different opinion and vision about it. So, there is a point in the ascension where nothing matters. All the differences don't matter anymore. Everything becomes integrated. All the information, even the false and true information, find a way to become integrated, because there is a vertical acknowledgement of the information. So we're not looking in terms of horizontals, we're looking in terms of verticals, and we can distinguish how information is important at very different levels, constantly at different levels. Again, many people believe this is escapism. Spirituality is escapism, and it is not. Spirituality is much more important than anything that is in this world. There's nothing in this world that matters. This planet does not matter. We have to move out of it. We have to leave. And yet we all know it, and yet we're not much doing anything about it. This planet does not matter. Our spirit, which is eternal, matters. The universe matters. And because we're not from this planet, we are not entirely, our life force is not here. We live false lives. by trying to give our material life in excess importance. And so, with my little knowledge of my little experience, I believe, and what I have read, obviously, we absolutely must stop the wars and the conflicts in this area. And we must realize that there is another reality, and that is more important than finding and fighting conflict day in and day out. Giving peace a chance is not escaping. Giving peace a chance is not easy. It is the hardest part. Trying to work together, because fundamentally what we are trying to attain is the universal man, the earth person. That is the one that is going to be representing us in space. We are from Earth. In space, nobody cares if you're Chinese, if you're Jewish, you're American, you're Portuguese or German or Russian. And we must have a mind of the cosmos. Even if we're not there yet, we must start to have that mind. And I think this in part why to me Scientology was important, because yes, it was evil. I find it very evil. I couldn't break through as to the entire reason of why it needs to be evil. Is it trying to cancel evil by being evil? I kept on thinking that, but even in that thinking process, I couldn't find the oxygen for hope. It was, if you're not like me, then you are not right. No. That is absolutely wrong. That is a cult. One that gives no freedom to personal and spiritual development. We never know what spirit we're speaking to. We never know. We never know when God might be hiding in one or another spirit, or angels, or prior powerful people. The spirit is a treasure, and we see people for what they are, but what you see through them is not what they are. That is just the lie, the covering, the icing. And so we must look with unseen eyes into the unseen one when we talk to someone. They're in their journey, but their spirit has been here perhaps for dozens or maybe hundreds or maybe thousands, maybe millions of years. And so we must look at people and treat them with that respect, that kind of respect, the eternal respect. And when we look at things that way, perhaps we cease to be as valuable as our little shit. Because right now I see a lot of garbage. And I'm sorry. I see a lot of people that are turning into mere objects, disposables, people that don't think, people that just react, violence, people that abuse others. And that is all part of the lacking of spirituality that exists. That is all part of this feeding of the mass media, of a false reality, of a false importance. When we drive a BMW or a Mercedes or a Tesla, we didn't make that car. We could have paid for it, but we didn't make it. We didn't design it. We didn't put the first tool and the last one into it. So we can't be walking around like we invented the world. We invented these cars. We invented our roads. We can't walk around with this false fucking importance. And I think at a certain extent, what Scientology is doing serves us right. It served me right. It put me in my place, in my box. I had to admit to a lot of things. All the wonderful things that I thought I was, I had to realize that I wasn't. And I had a lot of work to do. So for this reason, and as much as it pains me to say, holy fuck Scientology, I don't think you should exist. Well, I think we should give them a chance to exist, because maybe they're here and maybe God hasn't destroyed them, because they are opening our eyes. They are our mirror. And when we don't need those mirrors anymore, they stop being of any use. But for now, Scientology is being a good mirror and showing us, perhaps, through their evil, our own evil. This is just my perception. I hope everything, and I think everything must always end in peace. And they really must stop fair game on people. They must be integrated. If they want to stop being a cult, they must become integrated with the society. Not in think like us, but I apply this, but I also want to reach out to you. This is what I'm offering, but I need to reach out to you. This, I believe, should be their work system, instead of vilifying so many people. And it's just not the way. One can have many bad thoughts, but one does not make a career of bad thoughts, or else it's not good. Anyway, I've gone off. I'm gonna post this second video, which I talk about things that also matter, but I'm done with these videos. I think I have pretty much given an example in a creative, messy, homemade, crazy, expressive, reactive, but also analyzing my story. But I put it out there and as an example. It makes sense to me, and it might not make sense to you, but it makes perfect sense to me. They have been an important part of my journey, so for me, I don't hate them, and I'm just sorry that they hate me, but I don't hate them at all. But I went through a really bad time, like really bad, like really bad. And it wasn't necessary. It really wasn't necessary at all. But yet, here I am. I'm still alive. I'm feeling amazing. And I'm creating, I'm producing. I feel a bit like a humanoid, but I think that might be just my interpretation of it. don't think it is true. Well, I can't find anything else to say, because I know there's a lot of stuff in the second one, in the second video that I will be attaching to this one. I'm sorry I'm looking away. I find that when I look at myself in the camera, I actually feel really distracted. So I look a little away. Thank you so much for all the comments. And all the feedback. And I hope I helped in some way. I really didn't want to create pity. And that kind of like annoyed me a little bit, because I didn't want to create pity. I mean, I don't want to be a victim of life. I think that is the single most offensive little tag, that someone's a victim. Oh look, no, I was a victim of my own stupidity. I was a victim of my own dreams. I was a victim of my own fantasies. I was a victim because I wanted to be one. So I wasn't really a victim. It's just when I woke up and I started doing something about it, it was too late. They had so much information. I was a puppet in their fingers. But somehow it all worked out in the end. Hopefully it will all work out in the end. Well, my health issues will be resolved. Especially I'm concerned with my eyes. And all is well. And love is what keeps us human. What keeps us from this specific planet. Love. And we must, I believe, I must at least be faithful to that beautiful and kind, empathetic emotion. My cat. Yeah. Well, come here. Come here. Don't go over the computer. Well. Hi. Hi. I'm on camera right now. I'm on camera. Yeah. 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 But, well, goodbye then. No, let me turn it off. Let me turn it off. You are so funny. Let me, you bad boy. Yeah, do you want to be on camera? Do you want to show yourself? How beautiful you are? Hey? Yeah, show yourself. Say, I'm beautiful. I'm beautiful, right? You are beautiful. Can I show you on camera? Yeah? There. Here you go. Oh. This is Namo Jupiter. Namo Jupiter. April 20, 2018. The last few months have been both wonderful and terrible. Wonderful because I was able to get rid of my well of evilness, my well of anger, because that is what ultimately fair game does. It gets rid of those wells of evil that we have inside of us. And I've been so much more relaxed. Not much affects me. And I'm appreciative for my multiple journals that kept me producing consciousness out of the unconscious content. Which is really important. To know what our unconsciousness holds, because maybe it holds the solution for everything and all the power, all the knowledge. Maybe it holds all our dreams and all the education we wish for. Maybe it's all there in that unconsciousness. I have some problems with my eyes, my doctor said, in one of the eyes. So that is why I see auras all the time, and little flurries and little bursts of lights here and there, but I can live with it. It's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. My body's in constant vibration, and although I have been concerned about what it could be, the way that I feel about everything that I dislike, that I wish that didn't exist in my life, has been peaceful, and I've been throwing love into it, throwing good and respect and hope into it. Not anxious hope, not just an open door. And things have stopped affecting me so much. It's been more peaceful. I really don't think Scientology should call fair game fair game. I think they should call it something else, because they are processing a person. And if I had just figured that thing out before, it would have all been easier. But I was stuck in not knowing. So once I could figure it out, then that's when the journey started. It took a path of its own. My vibration feels actually really wonderful, because now all the noise that I used to hate, that used to affect me so terribly, that used to put me in a bad mood and anxious and all these things, well, now I actually like it because it feeds into that vibration. And the vibration of the body is like it's almost like a sense of every cell in the body opening up, becoming released of whatever was inside. all locked up. It feels, that's what the vibration does. It feels like the body is melting, but at the same time it's ascending. I feel more connected with space and not so connected with Earth. And that is really important. I think it's the best feeling of all, is the connection with space, with the universe, instead of being connected with the Earth, because I believe we're not from Earth. We're not from here. And finding the real connection, not in the blood mother or the blood father, but the astral being. It makes living much, much, much easier. I don't know what is going to happen. I don't know if this is good or if this is bad. But I've stopped looking at diseases as like they're bad. If this vibration that I'm feeling is some kind of neurological problem, well, it's going through my whole body and it feels really wonderful. But I do believe it's got a spiritual quality. And I have great faith in God. And I wish everybody did too. Just trust. Just trust. Trust God. And after dinner today, I did some voice exercises where it wasn't like experiencing the voice as something that came out from here, out. It was like experiencing the whole vibration of the voice going through the whole entire body and just shaking the air up. And my cats kept looking everywhere because my voice was resonating everywhere. And from that experience, I realized that we have tremendous power, all of us. The power of a single voice shaking up an entire person and then moving towards shaking up the whole atmosphere of one's environment felt very empowering. I am of the belief that Scientology is strong because all its members are disconnected. Because once I disconnected myself from the world, I began to regain my state of personal reality, not communal reality, brainwashed reality, programmable reality, at war reality. Terrible, terrible stuff that's going on in the world reality. I became rooted to the simplicity of existing which is breathing, creating, working, walking, talking, simple. That is what made them powerful and strong. And all religious orders do the same thing. They require a certain amount of disconnection. The bad thing is they also indoctrinate. One day I woke up and I thought to myself, you know, we come out of our parents' homes already with a program, whatever. We've been molded into a certain program. And sometimes it's good to be perhaps in a religion or a cult because it's going to feed us a different program, like Scientology fed me a different program. One program destroyed the other program, but perhaps that was the only intention of Mr. Hubbard, was to enforce a program upon your program to destroy it. He knew that you'd probably hate his program too, but one would cancel the other. And you would be free. I think we shouldn't be ever living in fear. We shouldn't ever being forced upon of any thought or any word or any belief that we do not experience, that we do not feel that is right. And this is what immediately produces acts of violence, acts of anger, and acts of illogical behavior. We have to analyze all the information we have. And get rid of the one that is not good for us. I wanna, perhaps, I don't know yet, because I've started having my own beliefs. And I would like to do a few recordings on spirituality. But obviously, these are just my own thoughts, and I don't know if I want to do it because my book itself is about spirituality, but in a very different outtake of what it is. The things that have helped me most is one, confront. Always confront. Don't confront your enemy, confront your enemy. Not your enemy, your enemy. So if something affects you, try to look for where it comes from in there. Inside of you. don't take it on that person. Just go inside and look for when did that similar time that affected you? When did similar word was used, or similar phrase, or similar behavior that pissed you off affect you? Backtrack, and then you find it. Conscious. It happens 3-4 times again. Make all the unconsciousness conscious. That's all it is about. Make the unconscious conscious, and it will stop affecting. It only affects because we have so much unconscious content in our heads that we burst out of absolute ignorance of why it is affecting us. We have a few associative ideas that why it could be affecting us, but not actual evidence. So take something that affects you and just go back, and make it conscious. That's all. Take the noise that disturbs you, at least that's what I did, turn it into vibration. Another thing that helped, number 2, is water, hot water. It melts. It's like taking a sauna, but when I don't have time to go to the gym or go take a sauna, I drink a lot of hot water, and all this opposition that exists, this negative and positive, this shadow and spirit, these elements fighting amongst each other, they will melt. They will become conscious and then melt. Once they become conscious, they melt away. They lose their energetic power, and warm water has been pretty amazing. It has helped me a lot. I don't think I have anything else to say, really. I don't want to go into long explanations of anything. It is such a personal experience to take our journey. And pretty much set our values anew again, and explore other interpretations that are not supplied by the masses for the masses. As much as there is an amazing and wonderful intellectual appearance, it's also my view, it is also a little forceful. As much as I have disliked Scientology and what I went through, which was harder when I thought it was fair game, because it was not fair game, it was processing. What I find most important is to understand that they are doing mind control, but it is important to know mind control because everybody is doing it. The case of Facebook, of using personal data to influence our minds, that is mind control. They didn't say the word. They didn't even want to talk about the subject. Mind control is using parallels to the self, and then, along with all the information of these parallels, begin to turn the person slightly to a different conclusion, and the person will follow. Like advertising a car. Oh, I'm sure you have a big family, 5, 6 children, all happy getting into a big, nice van. They establish parallels with the viewer. Over and over and over. TVs are doing it all the time. They use associative sounds to certain things. Mind control is everywhere. And this is why the most powerful people are disconnected. And dumbasses like us are not. Well, I'm trying. I've been trying for the last few months, and I have somewhat succeeded, but I have not succeeded in making the most of my time. Like, it just feels to me I could work faster, I could do things faster, and I don't. So one part of my attempt to disconnect from this outside multimedia world was to take a gasp on my time, produce more with the time that I have, and I haven't done that. So that is still what I'm trying, but I have somewhat completely moved away from the internet to focus more on reading, on writing, on doing things that are productive and more important for me. Or else I felt a deep sense of emptiness. I mean, I love reading about everything and everyone, but there's a deep sense of emptiness because this everything and everyone do not give a shit about me or you or him or that one either. And in this fiction, we've all been living. It's a fiction of other people's problems that we make our own because we don't want to look at our own lives and fix it. So it has been wonderful to disconnect and try to fix my own life, since I can't fix Scientology or fair game, and it has had very good results. think I only have 1 more minute, so I think nothing. I have to turn off the phone. Okay. I wish everybody the best with their Scientology stories. I think I'm on my way to have a very nice spiritual life. And I've truly enjoyed what I have discovered, but not what I went through. I'm embarrassed of what I went through. I'm not proud of it. I made some really bad choices out of just reacting to them. But it is who I am. And I know that you're probably thinking the same about a lot of things that you've done in your own life that you wish you hadn't failed yourself. As much as it's worse to think that you failed others too. So I think we all come out of experiences feeling that way. That we failed others and we failed ourselves, but we're stronger, and after all, we're on earth to learn. So look up, because that's where we're going. We don't look down at where our feet step upon. We look up. I look up. Always look up.